All right, folks, should we run up a session here or what? Thank you for tuning in. Happy Sunday. May God bless you all. We are getting ready to head on up for the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, and I cannot wait to get up there with the big hitters, folks that are much smarter than me, and we're going to just soak it all up like a sponge, learning about the precious metals, the natural resources, what runs the real economy, real value. I know in the digital asset space, real value, utility, that can be up for interpretation. But in terms of the commodity war that has just accelerated, we know it's very clear. We are at the beginning stages of a super cycle. And many of the experts, like I said, the smarter folks than me that have been in this, been here for decades, they can see we've been here before. Everything is aligning. What did Pluto just went into Aquarius, whatever that means. And the stars are literally aligning for a reset. A controlled demolition appears to be the choice as usual. And this is kind of the last gasp. This is what, scratching and clawing as they get taken out. And we're talking about the U.S. empire and primarily the U.S. dollar that backs that empire. And of course, the largest military known to man. We can talk about that too. And what I love about the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference, I went there last year. It was my first time. And then looking forward to this is going to be my second year, is the current events, the financial markets, a focus on commodities, natural resources, but they get it. They understand. And there is folks that are coming like Mark Moss talking, he's a big crypto guy, mostly Bitcoin maxi, I believe. But anyways, Mark Moss is up there. You guys know even Robert Kiyosaki talks about, Bitcoin and not really much cryptos, but mostly just Bitcoin. And I got the chance to meet Robert Kiyosaki last year. I got to meet Economic Ninja Travis. And I didn't realize at the time that he's into XRP too. Really looking forward to connecting with him again. And then our good friend Andy Sheckman, Miles Franklin, which, by the way, if you're looking to get precious metals, gold or silver, head on over to my website, zachrector.com. It should be linked up down below too. We can get you hooked up in that regard. Andy Sheckman, God bless him, great guy. And you get in the room with these guys, and they're talking about us going into the next commodity super cycle. And so that's why I titled this episode Crypto and Commodity Super Cycle, because I truly believe that we're entering it for both. And I do believe that most cryptos are commodities, they're utility tokens. And I believe that you have cryptos like XRP that are very similar to gold in that they can be a store of value, but you also can get tremendous utility out of them. And the beautiful thing about like an XRP compared to these precious metals, when you go to use the metals for industrial use, right? You can still recycle them, you can still, get utility out of them and reuse them. But when it comes to XRP, right, you can use that thing in 3 to 5 seconds, and it only costs you 12 drops, right? 0.00012 XRP to use the ledger. And so you can use it over and over again, getting that utility out of it, but you can also use it as a currency and a store of value. So that's why I find the best comparison for gold um, is actually XRP, because with Bitcoin, sure, you have a store of value and you have a payment network. Of course, you can call it a currency as well, but you really don't have too much of a commodity that you can get real utility out of, right? And you can really build value out of. Whereas with an XRP, now we got NFTs. Obviously, you're going to get XLS 30D for the automated market maker. You're going to get additional utilities that really meet the definition of a commodity. We know in the courts we had to fight this out, right? And now we know that XRP in and of itself is not a security. And I am of the opinion that it is a currency that also could be represented or classified as a commodity as well, because you get that additional utility out of it. But really looking forward to this, guys. And by the way, I'm not drinking Starbucks right now. We only have a couple to go cups, and apparently they're Starbucks ones. So don't think that I'm getting too woke on you guys. This is at home made coffee. Got to save every last penny we can these days so that we can go buy more of these precious metals. And I'll tell you right now, the reason why I'm looking forward to Vancouver Resource Investment Conference is bringing private equity deals to the community is what excites me most about my opportunity, my role to play here over the coming years in this super cycle, the next decade, right? That we're going to see this thing out. And so I'm looking at private equity in these mining companies and these companies that produce, mine, are part of the process here with the natural resources and the commodities. that we're literally fighting wars over right now. So it's getting exciting here, and we continue to pray for peace, but it's just unbelievable what you see on these charts. This is uranium. See, it's not just gold and silver, and I don't know how well you guys can see that. Actually, I forgot it's locked in on my face. Got the camera lock on my face, but you can see that right here. Where we're at right here is that we already achieved the breakout, and the chart really doesn't matter. This is uranium 12-year chart, and we've broken out, and the run up that we had took us to about $95 for uranium, and we just achieved a breakout up to about $31. So we have a ways to go. I mean, even just going back to that high, I don't know if that's the all-time high for uranium or not, but even just going back to this level that we traded at in 2011, which was the last commodities cycle that we went through. I don't know if you want to call that a super cycle or not. The run up was from 2003 all the way to 2011, right after those ETFs got approved. Go figure. We just got the ETFs, spot Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum ones are on the way. SEC's delaying them per usual. We already are seeing talks of the XRP ETF. We'll see. But right here, volume thin zone all the way up means no historical volume resistance going back up. Same things on the XRP chart. As soon as you break $1.40, you have a trigger at $2. After $2, the sky's the limit, relatively speaking, right? And this is why I'm calling it a super cycle, and I think why many others call it a super cycle is because the run up that we get here potentially in 2024, 2025 is just one wave, right? The super cycle means that we're not done after this current bull run. And, you're going to have a temporary high, maybe an all-time high for XRP. We already achieved all-time high for gold. Maybe some of these other, resources are going to go to new all-time highs as well. But that's just the next wave in a greater super cycle that we could see. And so this is the uranium chart. And when I also wanted to share this one with you guys as well, there are reports that households in India own over 21,000 tons of gold in 2023. We just saw the largest swoop out of the COMEX vaults. That was last week. Now, India owns 21,000 tons of gold, and this is just the households. This is not their central bank, the households, right? Which surpasses the number one owner of gold amongst the central banks. The households in India, let me make this very simple. The households in India own more gold than the number one central bank. Now, the central banks have been buying at a pace that we haven't seen in 50 years. Do you see what's at play here, folks? I mean, this is a battle, a war. Wars are taking place right now as we speak over precious metals, over the natural resources, over oil. And obviously, it relates back to the currency war as well. It's all tied in. And that's why you got to go surround yourselves with folks like this that are well versed in the current events, financial markets, precious metals, digital assets, real estate, run a business. And data points like that just truly blow you away. And then the other deal is that we saw another deficit is being predicted by the Silver Institute for 2023. So this is 3 years in a row, and it was 237 million ounces in 2022. For 2023, this last year, it's looking like it's about 141 million, give or take. So we're running historical deficits for silver, set to break out for uranium. I actually have another chart on palladium, right? It's not just gold and silver. I only own silver. I don't have any gold. And wifey doesn't even like gold jewelry, so I can't even buy her a little gold anything there. So I have no gold, period. I just have my silver. But I definitely believe in gold. And what I'm looking at right now is some of these other resources, and in particular, even the companies as well, too, trying to get private equity. And the palladium chart set to break out. Uranium already did. Gold already did to all-time high. Silver needs to play catch up, which is why I've stacked. It's the most accessible as far as just buying 1 ounce coins, buying eagles, buying 10 ounce bars, and I'm looking to expand into gold eventually. I'm just not there yet, right? I don't have that much wealth that I need to hedge in precious metals right now. Most of my capital stays within my business and is staying in risk on assets because I believe that the Fed's going to turn back on that money printer, and I believe that this is all of this analysis ties in to where we're at right now with this year, my expectations for us to get some sort of black swan, for us to get some sort of banking crisis. Once again, I guess the last time that Pluto was in Aquarius was last year in March. And then I also read somewhere that the last time it was there was during, or one of the times was during the American Revolution. Take it for what you want, decode it all you want. I don't really spend too much time looking at the stars. Well, I do like looking at the stars, but doing astrology, horoscopes, all that woo woo. I don't spend too much time on it, but take it for what it's worth. The stars are aligned. The controlled demolition's underway. The currency crisis is here. The fiscal debt problem that continues to expand. We're about to go shut it down once again, unless we, do the DC dance like they normally do, and they probably will again, and raise the debt ceiling, kick the can down the road, and sell out Americans' future. And this is why it's so important right now that we're finding the hedge. This is why it's so important that we can tie all this together. Like I said, last year in March was the banking crisis. Now we got the stars aligning too. The last time was last year in March. So, maybe we're set here again. And, it's funny because I make a joke about that. But literally, we've been talking about this banking crisis, how it is not over. We've been talking about inflation's not done. And the Fed's in a tough spot. They have to wait for a bomb to go off, literally. This is what folks need to understand. This is what I see for this year. They have to wait till literally the bomb goes off. And I'm not trying to speak that into existence. I pray for peace, but you guys know what's at stake here. You guys know what they're willing to do to get their agenda through. And the financial tsunami is already here. That's not over with. That's just started. We've just been hit by the first initial waves. We got more coming. We got bigger ones coming. But what's going to be the response this year? Can they let it collapse? Can they let it burn down completely during this election cycle? Or is the Fed going to play politics and come in to save it? And it might be, once again, it's probably going to be such a max pain moment, just like it was in 2020. They shut down the whole world. We did a whole deal, went through a whole ritual, simulation events of 2020. I expect something similar. And the people aren't going to be fooled this time. A lot of people are awake. So what are they going to do to give them that excuse to paper this thing over again? To come back in, cut rates, turn back on that money printer, more stimulus, more student loan forgiveness, more debt forgiveness, more reparations. I just saw some politician wants trillions of dollars worth of reparations and all this programs. Fund this war, fund that war. We're broke, we're bust. Get it through your thick skulls. And they never will, and they don't care, and they don't want to be accountable for it collapsing on their dime, for having to do some sort of austerity. See, Europe's already gone through austerity. We saw it with Greece. We saw it with others. They bit the bullet. Or you could be like Iceland and you jail the bankers. What an idea. I think that there are some people that might need to, be brought before a judge in a U.S. court of law and may let, all truth be revealed, and we'll see where it goes. But there's, very strict, very good precedent for what happens when crimes against humanity are perpetuated, what happens when a, war on terror is run, what happens when they, once again bail out their buddies and leave the middle class and poor to bleed out. And my expectation is they'll show up to save the day, make the money printer go burr, tell everybody don't worry about paying anything. And this is what they're going to do. And they're going to try to, once again, we're in an election cycle, so that November, who knows what they're going to do to us. But they're going to set that thing free. So I say all this as I, start out talking about the super cycle. We are going to not just break down, we are going to burn down. The bomb has to, they need a big excuse because they can't cut rates with unemployment so low, with jobless claims so low. It's you can't tout strong Bidenomics and strong economy, but then also ease up on us and cut rates, right? So this is where the market's just now realizing higher for longer. Final gasp of air for the stock market as the stock market just went to all-time high. So where's the opportunity? Where should one invest? Well, for me, I'm not going to invest in a NASDAQ 100 all-time high, an S&P 500 all-time high, and Nvidia all-time high. Thank you very much, but I'm going to pass. I'm going to go look at suppressed assets. I'm going to look at underperforming value. And the other investment is utility with no counterparty risk. That's why I got my XRP. I store it myself. That's why I got my precious metals. I store it myself for now. When I got the pallets of bricks that we have to put in a big vault or a big bunker somewhere, I'll do that. But I just got my little bag of silver, got my bag of XRP. I've been stacking cash so I can stay liquid to buy these assets when we get beat up, when they let us bleed out. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I have 100% conviction and faith in understanding these investments and where we're at in this cycle and where we go. And trust me, I'm excited for where we go 2024, 2025. Let's have fun. Let's have a good time. Can't wait to see XRP at all-time high. Can't wait to see silver catch up. Guess what? I'm not really planning on selling any of my silver during this first run-up, and I'm not planning on selling much of my XRP during this first run-up because I firmly believe that we're in a super cycle. And you're going to see commodity cryptos, commodity tokens, utility tokens like an XRP that's set to be one of the best sources of liquidity, if not the best bridge currency in the world. It's really set up to be the best bridge currency in the world, and many folks just can't even understand that. They're so focused on today's price action that they can't see the future. So I hope that I can provide foresight into where this market is heading for the regular person who's just trying to make some money and build some wealth. Or if you already got a bag, protect that wealth. Because the same program ain't working anymore. I'm not here to give anybody financial advice, tax or legal. And I'm just here to say, look at historically where we've been at. Look at where things are lining up right now. Look at where the stars are lining up. We're set for a good wave in 2024, 2025. Strap in and understand what you need to have for your exit strategy. But understand that that's just the next wave, one of the first waves, before we get much, much bigger into 2030 and beyond. This is the destruction. This is the end of a currency cycle. We've played this one out in history before. And we've seen what gold's done during these resets just in the last 100 years. We've seen what's happened to asset classes after they get an ETF and exposure to Wall Street, i.e. gold in 2003, getting its ETF, going up 500%. Silver, 2006, getting its ETF, going up 1,000%, 10x. We just got spot Bitcoin ETF, Ethereum's coming, XRP's coming, and you have a tremendous opportunity right now, in my opinion, to buy private equity in these undervalued companies. These companies that are also in underperforming assets like precious metals, commodities, cryptocurrency, XRP. They've been suppressed because of lawsuits. They've been suppressed because of paper derivatives with gold and silver. They've all been caught. Their tools of manipulation are running out as the systems go to real-time settlement on distributed ledger technologies, and the stock market's going to run 24/7. Liquidity will always be there. And if it's not there, you're going to be able to track and you're going to be able to see. And we're going to be able to see, we're going to go into price discovery for real value. So while I continue to stack commodity or utility with no counterparty risk, I'm also looking at into the future, where can our community invest and where can I invest to get the best return? We're looking at private equity, and we're looking at the natural resource precious metals companies. We're looking at real estate. We're also looking at companies that are going to be pivotal to the fourth industrial revolution, i.e. Ripple, Circle, Stellar, and others. Folks, I am so excited. This is such a massive opportunity for us. I'm about to make my way on up here to Vancouver for the 2-day conference. I will be reporting back with more updates. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this out far and wide because we're going to give you guys tremendous updates over the next 2 days on this conference. And we got so much good content coming for 2024. This is going to be a massive year for our community. We have so much momentum behind us. And please just stay focused and locked in right now. Set your intentions, control your energy, and let's just continue to take massive action, God willing. This is going to be a tremendous transfer of wealth in our favor. With that being said, please like the video, drop a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Just head on over to my website, zachrector.com. Take care.